Why is it that everything feels so off right now? You're sensing change. You're sensing things aren't right. And you're not going crazy. In this live stream, I'm going to be talking all about the shifts that we're moving through, the illusion, which is falling apart, by the way. That is really what is going on. If you want to know exactly what is happening, the illusion is falling apart. What is the illusion? When you hear the word illusion, what do you think about? Media, religion, old systems, the world which we thought was the real world is showing itself now to not be real at all. Who is seeing through the illusion? Who is seeing through the delusion? And who is waking up from the dream, from this amnesia, this dream state that we've been in for eons of time? We're waking up, some of us, and some of us are not waking up. And we're not meant to change or wake up people, by the way. We're not here to convert anybody. We're here to simply share truth. And if that truth resonates and an awakening occurs, well, that person is meant to wake up. What's really happening is free will is playing out. Now, before I get into all of this, I've got lots to talk about today. I'm getting a lot of information. Those of you that know, I get all of my information from divine wisdom, direct from divine wisdom. I don't channel. I don't get it through a third party or an entity. I get it directly from source, divine wisdom. That's where the information comes. Mystical Magic with Joni, welcome to you. I have definitely woken up. Wonderful to see some of you awake. This message today is for you. This message is for those that are waking up. A lot of people will come by this and have no idea what I'm talking about. That is okay. I'm not meant to resonate with those people. This message is for those that are awake or are waking up, and it's to help you navigate what is ahead, because the one thing that is incomplete with so many other teachings is it doesn't really show the way out. Sure, we know about the system, we know about the corruption, we know about the media and religions and all of these other isms that have existed for eons of time that have kept the structural reality in place. But have you been given the keys, the way out, the way home? That is what my teachings are about. Those that are awake and aware and that will be navigating the months and years ahead need a plan. And maybe you're watching this way down the line. The world has significantly changed since this broadcast. You can check the date. You'll know the truth in what I share, because many of these things will have come to pass by then. And perhaps you are in a much different place than this illusion, this world is at the time of the recording, and this will be pivotal for you to help you out, to help you navigate the time ahead. I want to give some time to those that are tuning in live. And hello to you, Amanda. I'm going to be looking over at my screen on my left-hand side. So if you see me glancing over, it means I'm reading your messages. Why don't you communicate and ask questions if you have questions? But I've got lots to share, but I will look over every now and again to see if I can engage you, have you a part of this conversation. I don't like it to be just one way. I like to be able to engage with you and have a two-way conversation. So is that all right with you? If you've got any questions during this, please let me know. And if you're watching the replay, of course, you can write them in the comments section and I will respond where I can to any questions. The illusion is falling apart. Really, a lot of people ask me, what are we going through, Paul? I don't understand it. It's not making sense. The world is seemingly to not make any sense anymore. Well, you know what? It never really did. It's just that you've woken up to it. It's just that you see it for what it is. It's not so much that the system is changing, it's that you are changing. You are awakening. You are becoming aware. You are seeing through the illusion. So really that's what's changing. Those that aren't awake and aware, business as usual. They're subscribing to the next fear agenda that media presents. Might be about the natural world, its inevitable demise. It could be about politics or whatever the other traps that we get caught into, feeding our energy. Really, and I use that word very specifically, feeding energy, because that's what we do. We feed the system energetically. We give our power away. We give our attention away. We stay distracted and not focused on what's really important. And what's really important, I think, for those that are awake and aware is about navigating what is ahead. When I tuned in and continually to tune into divine wisdom, I'm given a lot of detailed information. The information that I'm given is not for me alone. The information I'm given is to share with you that need to hear it. And that is why I share it. Welcome from Emerald Coast in Florida. Wonderful to see you as well. And we've got a few people here. Who's feeling more disconnected from the world than ever before? The reason that you're feeling so disconnected because you were never meant to be a part of it right from the beginning. Now, I won't go into a history lesson today, but for time's sake, I'll give it to you in short form. This world, this illusion, isn't real. It's a matrix, it's a simulation, it's an overlay of the real world or the real earth or the real reality. It's not a new earth. Many hear about the new earth. You've heard me speak about the new earth. Dolores Cannon speaking about the new earth. But it's not a new earth. It's more correctly labeled the real earth. We live in a simulated false construct reality. You might want to call it Matrix. Let's use that terminology because a lot of people have seen the movie The Matrix, so they understand intellectually how it works. And that's exactly what the ancient Gnostics taught us when we found the ancient scrolls in 1945 in Nag Hammadi. We read and discovered that this reality was created as a simulation. It was a copy of something real. Why was it copied? Why did we find ourselves trapped in this? Well, that goes on into a whole other teaching, and you can watch previous videos to get more of an understanding of all that and how that works. But we are here nonetheless, whether we're here to help others awaken as I am, or we're here to wake up ourselves. The shift, the split, the great separation, as I tend to call it, I actually don't know if anybody else calls it the great separation. Maybe you can let me know. Have you heard that term before? Let me know in the comments. I call it the great separation. And really, this is what this earth split is about. It's not a split literally where two earths are splitting in half. It's not that. It's a metaphoric example. It's metaphor. What really is happening is it's a split in consciousness. A split for those that are waking up and are aligning with, I call it divine truth, and those that are going to remain with the old. Now, there is a great separation coming. It's been spoken about in many ancient prophecies, in many different teachings, from Nostradamus's predictions and quatrains to Dolores Cannon's, to even in the Bible. Ancient Zoroastrianism talks about this time, this specific time. Let me tell you this. The time that we are living in right now, and I'm specifically pointing to years, not decades, is the most pivotal and important time in the history of this reality. And if you stay with me today, I'll show you exactly why. Who senses that? At least they feel it here. I call it inner knowing. It's that aspect that knows it all. Your soul, before it incarnated, knew all of this. So when I talk about learning, I don't talk about learning as acquiring knowledge. I specifically use the language remembering. You remember what you forgot. You remember what your soul already knows. And when you hear it again, you awaken because you know it inside. So who senses that? Anybody in the chat? You sense that reality? You sense the knowing that comes with that? Forgive my eyes from darting around on the screen. I'm trying to flick my mouse over onto another screen so that I can get to my notes. And my little mouse is all over the place. I'll use my keyboard instead, so we're good to go. Anyone? So the great separation is happening now, and it's already begun. It's not something that's going to happen. It's something that is already in motion. It's already occurring. Those that are waking up, some of you woke up years ago. For me, I woke up many years ago, but it's only been recently that I've got the full picture of what is going on. There's a lot of distortion in this reality. There's a lot of distortion, no mistake, because this reality is an illusion itself. It's a copy. It's not the real thing. So naturally, you would suspect that there would be a lot of falsehoods, illusions, deception, inversion. In fact, I was given this information last night. I think you'll like this. This is a mirror of true divine reality, but in a mirror, it's reflected backwards. This reality is backwards. Everything in it is in reverse, the way it's meant to be. Doesn't that resonate with you because you sense that something isn't right? You sense it shouldn't be this way. You sense that life, reality shouldn't be like this. And you're right to feel that and sense it. No, you're not going crazy because you've been living in reverse or inverted reality. What's good is bad. What's bad is good, right? Isn't that what we're being indoctrinated with, conditioned with more and more? Systematically over decades now, being desensitized to things that are destructive for the planet, destructive for our psyches, destructive for our children, destructive to everything that we call sacred. I'll give you an example. As harmful as it may seem, look at all the murder shows on TV. We've been systematically desensitized to violence and murder. And now when we see it, as it's increasing in the world, certainly is in Australia where I live, it used to be once shocking and people are used to it now. And they see it all the time. They see it on the TV and then they hear about it in the news. And they get further and further into fear. That is the separation. One of the first things, and Dolores Cannon, I'll quote her words, if you want to move and shift into this new reality, first you've got to let go of fear. And we have so much fear, often we don't even know what's fear and what's not. Because it's so normalized, we've been so conditioned to it. And that is the major step to take back your power, take back your authority, is to release attachment to this reality. I want to use a metaphor for you that will help you understand what we're navigating. This reality is like the Titanic. It's going down. You can't save it. Not every timeline is set in stone, but there are certain events that are. There are points in time and space that are conversion points, where all timelines inevitably lead to the same event. The Great Separation is one of those events. It's been spoken and written about. I asked this to Divine Wisdom. I said, can't we change it? I don't like the sound of it. Sounds a bit not very nice for those. One, I was told, is all about choice. It's not punishment, it's alignment. People are getting to choose. The Great Separation is all about people choosing which reality they want. And that is simply what this is. No one is being forced. No one is being converted or trying to be converted. I don't try and do that to anybody. That's why I actually advise against that. So if you're trying to wake up your family, stop. If they're meant to awaken, they will. If they're asking you questions, answer the questions. But do not try to change anybody. The Great Separation is when souls are reshuffled to where they belong. It's actually really, really exciting news for us that we are awake, because guess what? We're going home. Where are we going to? Are we leaving the physical body, or are we leaving this physical reality? Not in the traditional way. Something new is happening. I do a new thing. A new thing is occurring. Now bear with me, because I am really wanting to get my notes, which I haven't been able to get to up until this point. So bear with me, and maybe at this stage we got questions. And I would love to answer some questions while my eyes dart all around the place, trying to get my cursor to go over. Maybe while we're doing that, let me know how the sound is. And have we got any questions over here? It already happened. Nice. You already did this in a dream. This is a dream. Maybe someone's tapping into a future timeline there. And I wish some of this stuff could be changed. In fact, I kind of pleaded. I said to Divine Wisdom, can't we get more time? Can't we delay it? Can't we? And I wasn't able to convince. This is inevitable. It's meant to happen the way it is. We're not meant to fear it. In fact, it's the greatest thing that's ever occurred, because we're actually going home. We're returning to the divine template. We're returning home, but we don't have to die to get there. We just have to awaken to it. You don't have to run to it. You don't need to hide from a system that is designed to terrify you. You simply need to awaken. Now, you know what I was told? I had no idea of this. I've never heard it from anybody else. I was told that light that comes from the sun, that the sun, and some of you would think I sound crazy. I almost thought it sounded crazy when I heard it. But in the real earth, it's a different sun. And guess where the light comes from? Does it come from the sun in the sky? Where does the illumination come from? I want to see if somebody can guess before I reveal the answer. I'll leave you in suspense for a moment. No one's guessed it yet. I'll tell you, it comes from within you. Wasn't it Jesus that said, the light within you, the kingdom is within? That's what he was talking about. In this reality, illumination comes from life itself. And that light within, you've heard about the halo, the energy body. The light comes from crystal. Yeah, you've got crystals within your being. And there's a whole science to that. I won't get into that. All right, I'm going to refer to my secondary note place, which is my backup, my smart device. I always come prepared because there's always something in the technical mix that doesn't always behave accordingly, so that we have to have our backups and double ups and all of these things to make sure that because we are live, I don't have assistants. I've got my whole setup myself, so I have to make sure that everything runs really well. And it's important that I look at you as well and not look away, because you need to connect with me, and that requires eye contact. So we're perfecting this as much as we can. Now, I am momentarily looking away, and it's probably a good thing for those that are just listening to the audio, then you don't have to watch me look down. All right, I'm perfectly where I need to be. The illusion's completely falling apart now. This is what's going on. Don't waste your time on Twitter. Don't waste your time doing research or all of that, trying to save the system or getting into a political battle with somebody or taking a political side or hoping that a political leader will save you or be the savior figure. Aligning with the new reality or the real earth, I'm going to make sure I always say the real and not the new, because it's not new. Aligning with divinity, aligning with truth, recognizes that saviors don't come externally. They come from within. Nobody is going to save you. I cannot save anyone from the dying system. The ship that's going down, the Titanic, only you can do it. Money is not going to get you in. Fame isn't going to get you in. Another person isn't going to get you in. There is no other external way in except here. Because this is changing frequency. How do you get to the real earth? You have to change the frequency. That is how you get there. It is like a radio station. This fake reality, the copy, is being broadcast at a particular frequency. The real earth is also at a particular frequency, and the only way you get there is to change frequency. You actually have to change your frequency in order to match it. Now, it's not as simple as just, I know there's a lot in the spiritual community, we just got to raise our vibration and then we get there. I used to think that too, but it's a bit more specific than that. And that's what my teachings are about. They won't be popular with some. In fact, I've already been told that a lot of people will reject and get angry and upset about it because it goes against their belief structure. I'm here to awaken, and I'm here to disrupt the system. The system is already heavily shadow banning me. I don't use particular words and phrases that generally get flagged or shadow banned, but nonetheless, the shadow banning happens. It actually, believe it or not, because I asked divine wisdom, it happened even before I started sharing this truth. Isn't that interesting? Your air is consciousness. We can only save ourselves. Absolutely. Actually, that is the key. I'm going to get into a lot more detail in future live streams about the master key, but I won't do it in this live stream because I'm building you up with the information. People are going down two distinct paths: illusion, awakening. The real earth is calling those who are ready to step into higher truth. You've got to be ready for this. It's already happened. It's already started to happen. It hasn't reached its final stage, but we're in the final part of this. And it's going to become more and more and more and more obvious to those that are awakening that it's happening. See, a lot of people sense in the world something's not right, but they don't know what it is. They haven't had a spiritual awakening. They just think that the system's getting worse. And then just at the right time, all the solutions are going to be presented. And everyone's going to get so excited when the solution is offered because they're going to think it's going to solve all their problems. So the vast majority of humanity will go in that direction. They're going to be offered solutions to our climate, solutions to longevity, solutions to everything in life from technology. As they're seeing the breakdown happen, it's going to cause all of this problem, all this challenge. Artificial intelligence taking jobs, certain diseases being cured. It's going to seem like a utopia. And there are key figures that are being positioned that are going to lead and guide people in that direction. And even some people in the spiritual community will get caught up in that and go down that road. So that is the great separation. Now, those that are aware and awake and are resonating with this will not go in that direction. We are actually being guided from within where to go. And guess what? Home isn't all that far away. It's not in a distant dimensional galaxy. This is a copy or an overlay of something that is real here. It's just that we're on a different frequency. It's like when you drop the physical body, you just move into a different frequency. That's why you can often communicate with loved ones because they're still here, but they're in a different frequency. You can't see them in this reality because the veil comes down and you can't see beyond it. Now, some can see beyond it. I have now derived a way of seeing beyond the veil. That's where I get all my information from. That's where this information doesn't come from research or someone else's video. This comes directly. I don't like all of the information that comes through all of the time. It takes my mind some rewiring through the process of neuroplasticity. Who knows about that? To unlearn some stuff. But I'm open enough to not be dogmatic and rigid when it comes to adopting different truths. I think it's going to be really important. I had read 250 self-help books and books on spirituality. I thought I knew everything. Obviously, I didn't. There's a lot that I've been learning in the last month or so. Home is where the heart is. Jesus. Yes, Jesus. I'm going to be talking a lot more about Jesus. I'm not going to be talking about religion. Don't get freaked out. Actually, Jesus came not to start a religion. Unfortunately, that's what happened. And that's one of the major structures I've been called to speak truth through, because so many people have put religion as the savior figure. The rules, the regulations, the doctrine, the dogma, And it just leads you back more into the system. It's just another false enlightenment, another way out of truth. See, this whole system, it's kind of like booby-trapped everywhere. You think you're going to go to enlightenment and then you end up in the wrong direction. This is why I talk about inner discernment. We have this ability to discern truth. And your ability to discern is going to be more important in the coming years than you've ever had in your life, because what's coming, we're going to need to navigate. And nobody going to save you. Nobody going to save me. Now, I'm here to guide. I'm here to awaken. I'm here to remind people of what they know, but I'm not saving anybody. I won't be able to save not even one person, unfortunately. The only person I'm liberating out of this reality is myself. Now, I will give you all the steps. I will do everything that I can to give you what you need to know when you need to know it so that you can navigate. But you're going to have to learn to trust yourself, your own spiritual discernment. You're going to have to develop that spiritual musculature that you have. But I will give you the key, so you aren't alone in this. And many of us are waking up. Many of us are having this realization. I've been told that there are many that are getting the same information than I am. And I went to someone's book over the last couple of days and I was blown away. I won't mention that individual's name, that was getting all of the same information that I've been getting. And my draw was dropped when I was listening to the audio book, because I was like, that's what I got. And that's a rare individual, because most information in the spiritual community is not telling you this. It's, easy way, give us some money and you'll get it all easy. I've learned that it doesn't work that way. I'm going to read some questions. I'm 55 years old. I don't know anything like this that I thought I did. You got to know how to use the system. To find the truth is the way. It's a little bit discombobulated there, the text and the wording. Maybe reread what you've written and put it in a simpler format, because I'd love to answer your question. I think it's no one. Often these people that are anonymous usernames they don't really have a lot to contribute, unfortunately. So I won't be distracted by that. Two men will be in a field, one will be taken, the other left. That's found in Matthew 24:40. Two men will be in a field, one will be taken and the other left. That is the great separation. It's not what the religions have taught about a rapture and people are going to be taken away in the sky and off to the sweet by and by. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be very different from what religion has taught us, although this truth is contained in Scripture. It's in the book of Matthew, it's in the book of Revelations, it's throughout the Old and New Testament. It's found in books that weren't included in the official canon of the New Testament and even the Torah. Books like the Gospel of Mary, the Gospel of Thomas. Those scrolls that were found in Nag Hammadi in 1945 talked a lot about, not the decade, the years in which we are now. Okay. I don't have time to go to that. I would love to engage with more of it, but until I have somebody supporting me, I can't. But if you want me to answer some of your questions, I would love to, and I will do it in the replay. So what you can do is save your question for the replay. It'll be broadcast directly after that, and I'll be able to go back in detail and respond to you, because I value your questions. It's just hard for me to answer unless you're really quick. If people have got questions, do it in 2 sentences, because then I can flick over with my eyes, keep my eyes on you, and then engage in the question answering. All right. And I want to make sure, where are we at? We're 34 minutes. Okay, good. You're not lost. It's time to fully step into your truth. The shift is happening now. It's not coming, it's happening. It's not a distant event. You got to learn to listen to your intuition, prepare for what is coming. One of the big aspects of this is to detach from the system. Consciously or unconsciously, we've made contracts with this system. Now, we either do it through the reincarnation cycle or we do it through different aspects of our life, but we make a contractual agreement because you have a free will, and that's a divine aspect of who you are. You are a divine spark. You are a part of the original divine template, the real reality. Some of us got trapped. Some of us came here specifically with an assignment to help people awaken. And not only in this generation, but throughout the whole of history, or the history we've been told anyway. Even I've been told that much about history is incorrect. And I want to reveal some of those secrets. One of the things I was told last night is there are energetic parts of our body. In fact, I'm going to go to my notes because I want to read this to you. This is incredible what I got. I took detailed notes because I'd never heard of this. I was told that the chakra system is incomplete. Who knows about the chakras? The energy body. Well, there are different points in the body that we haven't been told about. Different energy points that, when activated, help us connect to the real earth. And forgive me for scrolling through my notes. This is a good opportunity for you to ask questions, and I'll be able to flick over while I'm trying to locate my notes. I know there's a lot of looking down and everything today, but I really do want to give you information. I don't want to just sit here and talk. I want to give you this specific information that I've been given because it's really important. Here we go. Here is something that I was told about the sun. The sun you see in the sky is not the original source of light. The true light of creation comes from divine source beyond this realm. The sun is a part of the false construct, a replacement, an artificial mechanism designed to sustain the illusion. And aren't we even taught to fear the sun? I live in Australia, and let me tell you, this is one of the harshest places on earth to live. And the rates of skin cancer are so high because of the UV rays, the harshness of the UV rays. Now, that's not the original divine template. And of course, we like to blame, maybe it's changing climate or whatever. We're not meant to live in a reality that's full of decay, that's full of sickness, that's full of misery. That's not what was designed by the divine that I speak of. Nothing missing, nothing broken, the perfect divine template. Why is humanity here? It's a good question to ask, isn't it? And maybe some of you know all of this. What do you think, Amanda? What do you think, Tammy? What do you think, Carol? Why do you think we're here? Now, some think we're just here for lessons. It's like a big school. I think it's more than that. yes, I think this was originally designed as a training ground for the soul. And there were many different purposes for the earth. There were many different reasons it came into existence. But remember, this is not the real one. It's the copy. It's the overlay. It's the mirror reflecting backwards or inverted. That's what we're in. To bring heaven to earth. Well, you're right, Amanda. The divine template before we found ourselves in this reality operated and operates continually, because it never went anywhere, at a different frequency, at a higher frequency. When we hear the story of Adam and Eve, its story ends with what they call the fall. What did they fall from? A literal garden somewhere in this earth reality? Mesopotamia, perhaps? One of the Middle Eastern countries? No. They fell from a frequency. They fell into a different frequency, a different vibration, a different reality, a copy or a overlay reality, a matrix. That's what the fall is about. Adam representing the divine masculine, Eve representing the divine feminine. Symbolically told in that story, both made a contract through free will. Not that they were being punished by some deity somewhere and kicked out because they'd been bad or offended the deity. Of course, that's what many want us to believe. Many want us to despise the divine. It's a part of the inversion. It's a part of the backwards reflecting mirror that's everything is backwards. But we're here, those of us that have chosen to. And this isn't set in stone, by the way. That's why I'm still here. That's why I'm doing this work, because my job, others' jobs that have answered the call, remembered who they are, remembered why they're here, remembered their contract, is to help others remember. Really, when I talk about the work I do, I'm here to help people remember. Now, often people that share messages like this, they can come across a bit fearful because they don't offer solutions. I offer solutions, not because I have them. It's just I've remembered them. And all I do is simply remind you of what you already know in your soul. That is why there is an inner resonance, not because I'm giving you something new. I'm awakening something within you. That's what this is about. So if everything is backwards, then are you dead? That's a good question. Well, this whole reality is an illusion. It's actually not real. It's a false copy. It's a reflection. When you look in the mirror, do you look in yourself in the mirror and think, I'm in there? That's a real person in there. No, you know it's a reflection. You know it's not the real one. It's a copy of what is being reflected at it. So is it dead? No, because it's being projected into it. You don't look in the mirror and say, look, well, I'm dead, because you're seeing yourself in the mirror. It's reflecting. In fact, that was one of the biggest secrets that was suppressed is that everything in reality is a projection or a reflection. Your words go out and create your reality. Why do you think there's so much programming and fear? Because they know that if we're projecting love, love is projected back to us. If we're projecting abundance, we create an abundant life because that is what is being reflected back. Life is simply a mirror back to you, your state of consciousness. But it's more than that. It's not just about raising vibration. It's just not about raising one's frequency to exist. We have to get to liberation. We first must completely detach from the system itself to understand that none of it is real, that it is all an illusion. That is the call, that is the awakening that you're invited to step into, that the whole thing isn't real. It's no point saving the planet. The real planet doesn't exist at this frequency. Now it's right here. It's not, like I said earlier, in some distant galaxy or dimension. It's just in a different frequency that you can't see beyond the veil. See, the veil's down, you can't see it. And that's what you're waking up to. And when you wake up enough and when your consciousness expands, you start seeing beyond the veil. Eventually, what's going to happen is you're going to expand and wake up so much, your vibration is going to shift. This happened to me weeks ago. I didn't even know this term. I said, why did I wake up so quickly? The last 2 weeks was the biggest in my entire life. And they said you had a quantum leap. You took a quantum step and you expand more and more and more until the whole structure around you, you see it for what it is, a false matrix reality. And then when you are ready to step out of it, you just step out of it. That is the split that is occurring. Is everybody going to do that? No. In fact, I think the vast majority of people are going to stay with the system because that is what the majority seem to be choosing. And they're going to be offered their own utopia, their own sweet by and by, eternal life through artificial intelligence, artificial ways, even fusion with artificial intelligence. And it will be very convincing for most. I mean, who wouldn't want to live forever, right? Isn't that within our consciousness anyway, that things shouldn't die? This illusion doesn't just take truth, it inverts it. Everything is an inversion. You get offered this and you get that in return. It never delivers what's promised. Never. All right, we're at that time. We're just about at 50 minutes. This message is not to cause fear. This message is to cause awakening. And then if it doesn't resonate with you, completely discard this. Completely ignore my words. I'm not here to convince anybody. I make these live streams and these videos not even for other people. I do them because this is what I was called to do. I'm here to deliver a message. I'm here to do what I'm doing, and then I am on my way. So it's meant to awaken. If it doesn't resonate with you, if it is not on your frequency, please discard it and don't even watch it. Because these messages are meant for those that are meant to hear it. They're not meant for the other people. And I'm not trying to grow social media. In fact, what's going to happen, I know for sure, is the numbers are going to go down and the views are going to be suppressed, because that's what happens when you share this type of information. The algorithms suppress, shadow ban, etc. But that is okay. I'll do it as long as I can. If I have to move to a different platform, I move to a different platform. Nothing can suppress truth. Nothing can really suppress truth. And those that are meant to hear it will hear it. You might even be watching this way down the line. And I'll certainly leave it up for as long as they'll have it on. All right, but do we have any questions before the end? This isn't meant to create fear. I don't preach fear. I don't talk fear. I offer solution. Fear is a completely different vibration. Now, sometimes there can be not fear, but there can be a sense of responsibility. And that can challenge the analytical mind. That can challenge the ego. So it may appear to you as fear when it's not really fear. It's you being challenged to step out of mediocrity, to step out of the status quo, so to speak, and to step into your authenticity. That can be challenging. And I have gone through that over the last few weeks as I've taken this quantum leap. I've been challenged. It hasn't always been easy. So great to see you, Amanda. I'm so grateful for you, and I know you're a part of this small, intimate group, because it is, and this video will be, this channel's large, but these videos get a very, very small reach because of the information they contain, and that is okay. If we've got 3 of you watching, then 3 of you are meant to hear it, especially the lack of confidence. I'm not sure what that means. Happy heart energy. Maybe you're responding to somebody else. Quick, before we end, do we have anyone with a quick question that I can read before I conclude this live stream? And if you don't get in time, I'm going to do these a lot more frequently, by the way. I'm going to do them probably, I'll try most days. I won't commit to it, but I'll try most days of doing live. Now, I never know what time I'm going to go. I'm organizing a retreat to Maui. I'm editing. I'm organizing that. There's a lot of work. It's happening in May. It's about activating another intimate small group of people. It's not about numbers. I used to be in a phase where I was being guided to build something big. And now I've let all of that go. And now I'm just focusing on this next chapter, which is a lot more intimate. I like that because you know what? It means I get to connect with you more. It means I can do more of the one-on-ones. If I've only got 10 messages on a video, I can answer every single one. I see other people and they never answer any messages because they don't have time. It's not that they're bad in any way. They're unable to do it. I would much rather that because it means I can be more available to people. What do you think of the ego? Well, the ego is a part, your conscious analytical mind is a part of this reality. It's the program. It's the program in you. You aren't your thoughts. You are the awareness that is perceiving them. You are the divine essence that is illuminating this physical body reality. Even your body is a form of this system. What's your specialty in helping other people heal? I know a lot about that. My number one thing with healing, and maybe you can let me know what specific issue it is, how it's manifesting in the body, and I'll speak specifically to it. I used to think that everything was energy. I'll take that one step further. It's more that everything is consciousness, or everything is awareness. But what we call energy often gets lodged or stuck in our energetic body, and it begins to manifest as it's an addiction. Yeah. Well, here's what happens with addiction. And I've had people in my own life that have been through step programs, and I've known intimately, and I've worked with hundreds of people over the years that have struggled with addiction. Generally, what it is, it's numbing or filling a void, right? So really, you've got to go to the root. And this works with all healing. What is it that's out of alignment? Because you work at the physical level, that's just the manifestation, the illness, the addiction, the overeating. That's the symptom. It's not the cause. I work at the causal level. When I work with people, I go right to the cause. Not everybody wants to be well. In fact, Jesus, when he had his ministry here in this reality, not everybody got healed, not because he lacked power, but they weren't willing. They weren't aligned. And even he didn't have the ability to change someone's free will. Some people are addicted to their addiction. Some people are addicted to their illness because it gives them a sense of self and identity, back to the ego. Who would I be without this? A part of shifting into the new reality is you actually not have to let some things go. And I found this challenge in the beginning. I've got easier with it. You have to learn to let it all go. Everything. All attachments. All identities. You don't take any of it with you. Now, I asked, do I take my dog with me? And yes, we do take our dogs, because believe it or not, the animal kingdom is operating multidimensionally. Who knows about different dimensions of reality? Now, this is going to get into quantum physics and quantum mechanics, and I don't want to bore you with all of that, but understand this as a premise to that. We operate in different levels of reality all at once. It's a multiverse. What you've been told about science and all of that is such a limited perspective. There's so much more than you can even imagine. Sounds kind of hard. It's more psychological. Feels like you're missing something. It's filling a void that needs to be filled. Now, I have the answers to that. We'll get into that in further videos. If you want to reach out to me personally, you can email me or send me a message, and I can be more helpful to you one-on-one. Cats are awesome and spend most of their time in the etheric realms. Perfect example. Cats perceive, they can see things we can't see. My dog, often Louis, he's probably ready now to have his walk soon because it's that time of the evening here in Australia, is barking at things in the house that I can't see. I don't identify as an alcoholic. You know, there's a great thing in AA, I'll read it to you, and obviously alcohol is the thing that is the challenge for you, and I think that's good that you don't identify with that label. And they use this in AA, and I'll find it for you. I wrote it down the other day because I really like it. A lot of people know this. God, grant me the serenity to... I changed the wording from accept to surrender because I thought surrender sounded better. God, grant me the serenity to surrender to the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom, it's what I've been tapping into, divine wisdom to know the difference. They say let go and let God. I'm not talking about a deity, a personified version of the divine. I'm talking about the divine itself. When you reach out with a willingness, you might not know how, but if you are willing, then you will find the way out. Most of the time it takes a willingness. I'm glad I happened to come across your page. I quit alcohol years ago and I'm working on cutting sugar and cigs. I used to smoke cigs myself from my habit. You know, you can do anything you want. It takes a willingness. Sure, there's a couple of days or so for your brain to kind of do this neuroplasticity thing where it starts to rewire itself, find different ways, but that can be done. You're so much more powerful than this system tells you that you are. You know, this system's kind of designed to keep us at a certain level of consciousness. But you are just so much bigger and realer than this false reality. And when you realize that these chains that have been placed upon you aren't real chains, they are perceptual chains and they're not real anyway, you just break them loose easy. And then you start to remember who you are beyond this physical reality. And it's beautiful and it's marvelous and it's perfection itself. That's how wonderful you are. You just got to remember, and I'm here to help you do so. I'll see you in the next live stream. Let's do it again tomorrow, maybe about the same time. I'll see you then. Okay, so what do we got now?